It is always something very special when the more than 300 Metro executives, so the management board members from all Metro and Makro countries, those from the food service, delivery and digital companies, as well as the management board and executives of Metro AG, come together in one place, and it is even more interesting to see them jointly discussing our growth strategy SCORE, and that's what they did at the Metro Leadership Summit 2023. The most important topics, insights and findings from Metro's Leadership Summit are our topic in this special episode of More Podcast, Wholesale to the Max. A warm welcome to all of you, dear colleagues. My name is Bernd.Rodde from Internal Communications at Metro AG. This episode of More Podcast is a little different from what you are all used to. Normally, I welcome a colleague as a guest on a specific topic from the wide Metro world. Not this time. Instead, I have compiled the most important topics and contents from this year's Metro Leadership Summit for you, because I think this event was a very important milestone on the path we have taken with our growth strategy SCORE. And so today I would like to summarize for you the groundbreaking statements of our board members so that you too can be guided by them in your daily work. But even though I don't have a guest here this time, you don't have to do without the ever popular sound souvenir. This time I've brought you one from the Leadership Summit. So stay tuned and enjoy today's episode. The Leadership Summit begins, of course, with our CEO Steffen Greubel himself. Standing in front of the 10-meter wide LED wall, he not only spreads a good mood among the 300 Metro managers right at the start, but in his presentation he also emphasizes once again the importance of the Metro goals set within the framework of SCORE. And in the implementation of our planned transformation into a pure wholesaler, Steffen sees us already on a very good path. And he once again very impressively describes the three pillars of Metro's SCORE strategy.
The store is going to transform in a growth machine with our wholesale transformation, so that's very important. And it plays a pivotal role on growth lever number 2, FSD. So the entire multi-channel network transformation we can basically do quick and cost efficient because we are using the existing network and then at the end pushing very much forward the FSD business, which is our big ambition is to threefold that until 2030. So that's actually where we can live off the land, live off what we already have invested and transform in our stores into true multi-channel fulfillment centers. We will connect everything with digital. Metro Markets, we built the biggest gastronomy platform in Europe. We are actually almost, as of now, the biggest gastronomy platform, online platform in Europe. And we aim for 3 billion of volume and 2 countries per year. So that's big ambition. But so far, we're really delivering against our plan here. And then talking digital, and that's also the reason why we dedicated indeed a full half day to digital tomorrow. This is why we need to talk about Dish, about the entire multi-channel transformation, about our M-Companion app, and especially around M-Shop, because M-Shop is going to play a very important role to achieve the target of having 40% of our revenue digitally. So that's our plan. Yeah? So we have set great ambition, and we have a plan.
In the past few months, as Steffen says, Metro, this large and cumbersome tanker, has shown that it is, after all, very agile and absolutely capable of moving quickly in a new direction. Metro as a whole is on the move and has set a new course towards the future. Steffen underlines his impression very clearly with some facts.
Let's look a little bit where we are moving. And I'll use the strategic visual again. We start with the stores. BMPL, everybody is now into BMPL. That's very, very good. And I know BMPL is just one element of it. It's the entire wholesale transformation, and it's not just the pricing strategy. It's a wholesale transformation of the store. It's a very good measurable KPI that you can see that we have added 26,000 articles now on BMPL. In a very short period of time, actually, in a couple of months, in 5 months, we've really added this enormous amount of articles. It's basically in all the countries. It's not optimal. It's not optimized. In every country, a little bit different. But we are on the move, right? We are on the move, and we are going in the exact right direction here. We look FSD, 23% growth compared to the previous year, 6% more customers, and very important for profitability, 19% in the increase of drop size, because this is very important to really upgrade the profitability of this. Because as you know, the cash and carry is more profitable in the moment than the FSD, so we really need to upgrade our capability to really earn money and cash flow with this FSD growth. But we are on the run. We are on the move. We have now seen that this can really be an additional growth engine on top of what we are doing with the stores, and is really adding to that. And we can live off the land. We can use the existing stores to then really take them and organize the FSD business out of that. Next one, digital. Because digital, of course, is our smallest initiative so far, but I would say it's equally important, right? In metro markets, so the marketplace we want to build up to 3 billion, we have added again 2 countries, which is Portugal and the Netherlands, since we met last time. France will come in September, Pascal. We are very happy that we will all open, the French operation there. And then we are really delivering what we have said, 2 countries a year, and the next ones are lining up then again. So that's very good. We have say-do ratio of 100%. The M-Shop sales, this is the digital ordering for FSD, is also adding 158 million in digital sales, which is quite enormous, 34% more. Big spread over the countries. This is a big lever actually to push for our digital ambition of 40%, and Salesforce is very much needed for that. But we are here on the run. And then Dish, the entire Dish family, is plus 43% in terms of subscriptions, and it's 23,000 new customers that have signed up for our Dish offer in this financial year. So that's quite amazing actually to see that we are really on the run. We are moving, we are implementing. We are also making mistakes. But when you're doing a lot, you also make some mistakes. That's okay. We should have no fear of doing mistakes. We need to learn, get up, make better. That's the spirit we need to have. And I think you guys actually have shown and demonstrated that we really can go on different speed.
In addition to the topics buy more, pay less, food service, distribution, and the digital business, Steffen also praises the great progress made in expanding the sales force, the increase in our own brand share, and the overall improvement in productivity. But all our successes so far, says Steffen, must not tempt us to slacken our efforts.
You could now say, fantastic. We just continue to do. Everything is fine. I mean, we can survive everything almost, it feels. I warn about that attitude. We should not be complacent. We should be always on attack mode, right? It should be always day one. When I look at Metro, I feel that we should treat ourselves like a 60-year-old startup. Look at our market shares, look at what we can do in a very short period of time. I mean, this is really just the beginning. It must be always day one for us. When you look at the opportunities, when you look at all the confirmative evidence that we do have, it could be an amazing transformation story that you will find in case studies in 2035. When you look at university books or something like that, we could be that. We could build that transformation story, but we have to have that attitude that we are really hungry for more, that we want to do more, that we really have started just this journey.
Okay, and what is needed for this change, for our score journey? A solid road, for example, a foundation, and the fuel to pick up more and more speed. And our foundation and our fuel and accelerator, that are, according to Steffen, our 5 Metro fundamentals. And Steffen's message in this context to our leaders is very clear.
The change is going to be led by this group here. It's this group who's going to make that company a very different one, a better one. And that's why we need to do that. And that's why the values, the fundamentals, the orientation towards the principles that we want to have, why this is so important, because at the very end, our job is to change 90,000 people. That's our job. That's the job of this group. That's the job of the leadership group of Metro. We need to change 90,000 people, and there is no concept in waiting. But we do have great results. There is big potential out there, and now it's about on us to really embark on that change program.
At the end of his presentation, Steffen gives the Metro leadership team his 3 key messages for the further transformation of Metro.
Wholesale and multi-channel leaders, that's what we need to be, according to our fundamentals, according to our strategy. So we need to think and live this wholesale, multi-channel value proposition. Everybody needs to live. No matter if it's commercial role, no matter if you're in the tax department, it needs to be wholesale and multi-channel everywhere. And last but not least, we need to act here as role model. We are the ones who are doing this, right? We are the ones who are role modeling the desired behavior. If we will not change, if we will not 100% commit on this journey, our people will not do it. So thank you very much for your attention, and let me now hand over for Klappers. Thank you.
After Steffen, CFO Christian Bayer steps onto the stage of the Leadership Summit for his financial update to the management team. He starts with a reference to our Metro fundamental basics and bases and links it to the 3 elements of our SCORE wholesale multi-channel strategy: the store, delivery, and the online business.
It's about the fundamentals, and I want to speak about the bases and the basics. And there it is that Steffen talked about this. This is our wholesale multi-channel strategy. It's very simple, but it's very powerful. We have exactly the asset base that we can leverage in order to have all the channels that are on here. And this is our unique advantage across all the competition, because we can, in multiple ways, use our assets, and therefore we can be, and we are already showing this day in and day out, more powerful than anybody that is out there, in order to capture that massive potential that is out there in the market. However, when we talk about the bases and basics from a financial steering perspective, given that we touch every single one of those pieces in order to get to that vision that we have set out, the 40 billion by 2030, we need to ensure that we have a holistic steering on those. And that holistic steering does not only involve sales, it involves EBITDA, and it also involves cash flow. Because only by doing those 3 key elements, we will be able to deliver, to fund our growth, and to continuously strive.
Afterwards, Christian very clearly outlines the path of the further transformation. In his presentation, he also underlines the good progress made in recent years. In view of the accelerated transformation, it is now all the more important to have a firm grip on management with the help of the key performance indicators.
We are certainly moving through a period where now a full and massive transformation is underway. Last year, all of you have delivered more than 20% growth, more than 200 million additional EBITDA, numbers that we have never printed before. So that's a great achievement. However, we are doing this by really leaving no stone untouched. We are moving everything within this organization, and as you can see, we are expecting a good structural growth in sales and EBITDA. However, the cash flow remains pretty much at the 0 line for the next 2 to 3 years. And that's not by coincidence. That is by our personal choice to do that, because we are convinced, and we all together were able to convince our shareholders and the supervisory board that they entrust us on this journey in order to move down that road, in order to then afterwards having exactly that fantastic trajectory also on the cash flow side. However, that also requires for us to have a solid steering in place while we are going through this, because we are accelerating massively now our car on the highway, and there we should not only focus on one thing, we need to ensure that we have the full coverage of the dashboard and that we are able to really master the speed.
At the end of his presentation, Christian summarizes the most important financial steering elements and how their interaction will lead us to achieve our SCORE goals.
And that's the summary from my side. It's very, very important that we balance the very strong push in terms of sales, in terms of availability, and in terms of the investment. So full power should go on this. And at the same point, from a balancing perspective, we need to ensure that we focus on productivity, on ensuring that our costs are increasing less than our total income. Very important. That our net working capital is managed in a way that we make it count with our FSD customers, and that we think of rotation, especially on the BMPL side, very, very critical. And then obviously, thirdly, very important also to leverage our existing assets and be smart and sneaky around adding additional capacities without investing massive money. And this will enable us to really also deliver not only on the top line, but also on EBITDA and on free cash flow. These is the basis and the basics of our financial steering, and this is one of the levers for us to jointly deliver on SCORE. Thank you.
As is so often the case, CCMO Claude Sarai and COO Rafa Gasset then take to the Leadership Summit stage, which is only about 20 centimeters flat, to jointly present their contribution to the Leadership Summit. The main focus is on the most important transformation topics for the operational business, for example, our products, so our assortments, its procurement through an end-to-end supply chain, and the right marketing of the assortments to our main customer groups, HoReCa and Trader.
So 3 transformations, which can be declined around 10 initiatives. All this, it's part of our strategy, in your countries. As a group, we cannot focus on all of them. So we have decided in between COO organization and CCMO to choose the one where we could make the biggest difference in the coming months to fast increase our capacity to get more customers and to serve them better. So we have created a 7+2 must-have. We say 7+2 because it's 7 functional, if you want, especially adapted for 2 main challenges by channel. BMPL, repositioning our price leadership, and FSD, making a profitable growth.
Rafa makes the benefits of focusing on the SCORE must-have activities in the coming months very clear and lists his key points in this regard. Firstly, with regard to the assortment.
We want to give a relevant assortment to our customers that are always visible, available, and accessible. By consequence, we reduce our assortment because we are coming from a situation in which assortment was not that visible, not accessible, and this is what we want to achieve. Second, we have understood that we can do our FSD business from our stores. So we have a good opportunity to leverage our assets more than ever. Of course, we are going to invest a lot of money on rebuilding these assets for the purpose of a multi-channel fulfillment center, and we will also invest in depot whenever our capacity for cash and carry or delivery is not already guaranteed with the store. Third, we have 7,000 sales force. We need to deliver the tools and the processes to make sure that we have the high level of efficiency when we are facing customers. So all these elements we need to take into consideration because we have now the opportunity to invest on these people and make this investment and a return on the sales that we can achieve.
Rafa also revisits the 2 main topics of buy more, pay less and food service distribution.
We are talking a lot about BMPL. At the end, BMPL is the tool to help us to gain cash and carry price leadership. And at the end, what we want is to build an FSD that is not only a short-term opportunity to gain some sales, but is a long-term opportunity really to make a business that is profitable on the long run.
Another topic in Rafa's presentation is the availability of goods. Here too, Metro has set itself a high goal. By 2030, this is to rise up to 98% in order to be an even more reliable partner for our customers. To achieve this goal, Metro wants to gradually reduce its assortments and focus on the products that are most important to our customers for their business.
Talking about the rigorosity of defining the processes and the tools that guarantee that the assortment that we have defined, the relevant assortment that we have defined for our customer is present all the time. We don't put ourselves on the rigorosity of once we have defined assortment, to maintain this assortment completely every day, it will disappear from the day one. So let's do not invent the processes because the process is already invented. And the assortment, I would say we have done a first step of cleaning. Still, our assortment is by far too large. And I say, if we can guarantee 100% or 99.9% of availability, the assortment can be very large. But today, we are far to have strong availability, so we are obliged also to reduce the assortment that we have.
More and more, the Metro fundamentals are the basis for the successful further development of the operational business. Claude and Rafa go into this in detail at the end of their update and link this to some questions for the participants of the Leadership Summit.
And now we will have a few questions to you. And it will follow our fundamentals. Where do you see the biggest progress? Kubilai, can I start? Where do you see the biggest progress?
I think we have one strategy, and we are rolling out. I think this is important.
Very nice.
I mean, yes, buy more, pay less is part of it, etc. But we have one strategy.
Thank you.
So let's go here. Vlado.
Yes.
Where we have the biggest progress on the strategy. Take this for you.
Okay. So in my opinion, it's one Metro team. Why? Because no matter what is the topic, I think still mutual sharing of learning, we could still do more. I witnessed one where we do already good, which is buy more, pay less, but I think we could also do this around several different topics. So one Metro team from my side.
Very good, though. Thank you.
Very good. Let's move to the next one. So next question will be, where do we need to speed up?
Thierry?
From my side, definitively on the digitization. I think that when we look at the different channels, and I was raising the point this morning, looking forward to have a Metro market as soon as possible in the country, is one. It will give us definitively a growth in our acceleration. And on top, digitization is also all the tools internally. So we spoke about a lot of different platforms, but now it's time to use them.
Very good. Okay. Stefan.
I would echo this. I guess digitalization in every dimension you can imagine, from the thinking to the implementation, that's going to be, for us, the thing where we really need to speed up.
Thank you. And I move forward. I will go in the back. Marcus.
Well, for me, it's Salesforce. So I think the more customers you visit, the more customers will increase their share of wallet with us. And when you read the feedback from the score visits, I think a lot of customers didn't have a visit in the last year. So I think that is something where we need to speed up.
Okay, that's for you, Gilles.
Yeah. Irinel, you are here probably representing also some of the customer groups.
Yeah, thank you. So I will say that we need to accelerate also with trader in many countries because the market is still big. And with the product we have, I think especially they are selling core article, which usually we are selling. And with the full implementation of buy more, pay less and wholesale transformation, I think we can capture the full growth of that market. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to the last one. Our last one will be, what is your biggest fear? And I know that we shouldn't have fear, but still. Daniel.
Biggest fear is not removing complexity quick enough. We're a very complex business in all areas, all customer groups, and it's a simple business. We sell product to our partners and we give services to make their business better. So I think removing complexity or not removing it quick enough, biggest fear.
Thanks.
Pascal Pirot.
Complexity was my choice, but if I have to choose another one, resistance to change. We have to move, we have to change our mindset, and it's always the longest things to do.
I think it's already enough. At the end, it's a matter also of how we work on the mindset, on the transformation, on the change of the mindset of our people. So thank you very much. Let's give us the space to people part. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Dennis.
So, after this lively discussion among the leadership team, Christiane Giesen, member of the Management Board for People and Culture, enters the stage as announced by Rafa. And she also clearly focuses on the 5 Metro fundamentals, which form the basis for Metro's HR strategy as well. But first of all, Christiane formulates her clearly defined mission with regard to People and Culture's contribution to achieving the SCORE goals.
I'm with the company now since roughly 6 months, and since day one, it was my clear target to develop a straightforward, operational people and culture agenda which contributes clearly to our business strategy SCORE. Because our target is to adapt our services and processes to either support you and your teams in the best way, but also to make the business even stronger, faster, and to increase also from a people and culture perspective, the productivity. To deliver on our promises and to drive the cultural transformation of this company, and that's for all of us, the fundamentals will be the basis of all our thinking and actions. But what does it mean for us in HR, in people and culture? So, wholesale, everywhere, every time. What does it mean? We will fight complexity and strive for simplicity. Where can you see that in the near future? In our new designed Empower process. Growth is king, speed matters, results count. Also for us, efficiency and clarity drives us, and we have set ourselves in people and culture clear targets, clear priorities, and we will measure them with clear KPIs. Basis and basics. People are our core asset. This is a central focus point for everyone in the People and Culture department. We work even more on more tailor-made programs together with the business to increase our capability of our people. Wer will, der kann, never stop, never fear. We reflect ourselves in the People and Culture department as well. We strive for constant improvement, and we are challenging us on what can we even stop. One Metro. We are all going through a transformation, and we can only do it together. It is not only a people and culture topic. It is the duty of every one of us that we leave no one behind and embark this new path together. This is a spirit that drives not only the people in the HR department or People and Culture department. This is a spirit that should drive exactly this group who is sitting here in this nice room.
To realize these goals and to further drive the transformation of the company, Christiane, together with her People and Culture team, has already started a number of projects. She goes into more detail about the most important of these projects, or what she calls big-ticket items.
Let me introduce you the 7 big-ticket items, as they are the most important ones for all of you. As I said, the Metro fundamentals will be the basis of our thinking, and we will embed them in all our various HR and People and Culture processes. One core process in which we will embed them is the Empower process, which will affect every one of us and everyone of your team, because we obviously want to develop and assess our people on our core values, and these are the new fundamentals. The third big ticket item is our currently global resource allocation program, which will help us understanding if our resources in terms of FTE activities and PACs are allocated in the right way, that we are even better to execute SCORE. The fourth one, employer branding. We are also working on increasing our employer branding. That means increasing the visibility on our labor market And therefore, we have already rolled out our new employer branding campaign, Shape the M. But for all countries, this will be rolled out by the first quarter of 24. Moreover, we are running a global job grading project, which will enable us to compare all roles within Metro, both externally and internally. And this is a very important enabler for our future organizational and operational development and will take until 23-24. Another huge digitalization project is called One HR. It will combine and automate many existing standard HR processes manually, and I'm talking from employee transfers up to the new salary increase process, and it will increase the self-share for managers, but also for employees, and it will definitely increase our productivity.
A special focus is also the expansion of the Salesforce organization, which thus has a direct influence on the implementation of the SCORE strategy.
It's a clear business goal for every one of us and for the whole company to increase the number of our sales force. We will continuously supporting this goal with the whole people and culture team in terms of recruiting everywhere, and we have activated and built up some new cooperations with schools and university, but also we further invest into development, incentives, and also, quite important, in retention. And I, together with my team, will promise that we will deliver upon these clear priorities as pragmatically and as quickly as possible. Because also, we heard that several times, speed matters.
At the end of her presentation, Christiane discusses how she wants to further promote cooperation within Metro and the One Metro spirit.
These things can only be realized if we work together as one team, as one Metro. And therefore, I call on you. This is not only a people and culture agenda. These are not only people and culture deliverables. Let us work together on this operational agenda, because everything what we do has something to do with our people, with your teams, with us, and it concerns all of us, not only the people and culture teams, and offers great value to the company and increases, as I said, also the productivity of our teams. And I have said that at the beginning, and I would like to close with this at the end. No people, no teams, no customers, no products. Thank you very much for your attention. I count on you. Have a nice evening.
So that were the members of the management board of Metro AG with their most important statements and expectations for the implementation of our SCORE strategy at the Leadership Summit 2023. And if you want to find out more about the exact content of SCORE, but also what progress we've already made and where we currently stand in achieving our goals, then please take a look at our SCORE United page. There you will not only find all information, news, presentations and videos on the SCORE strategy, but also our scorecard. This shows at a glance the current status of the individual KPIs with which we measure our progress in the implementation of SCORE and the multi-channel business model. It's really a great thing, and I highly recommend you to check out the scorecard, and you can find the link to it in the show notes of this episode. Also, in this somewhat different episode of More Podcast, it should not be missing the sound souvenir. And this time I've brought a sound souvenir for you myself, a sound that has a very special meaning for me, that motivates and above all inspires me. And in keeping with this episode, I've brought my sound souvenir from this year's Leadership Summit. And I can tell you it was a real goosebump moment for me and also for all the other participants. But first, Listen for yourself.
And they have a mission, and this is the most relevant one, because they see a future. If you talk to the people, if you talk to the management team, if you talk to Olena, you will see they want to talk about business. They want to talk about the future of Metro in Ukraine. They want to talk about the future of their team, of their country. So that's, I think, a great ambition, and you have fully deserved it. Ladies and gentlemen, show some respect. We have a lot of celebrations.
I don't know if it was easy to understand. It's the presentation of the SCORE Award, which the Ukrainian management team around CEO Olena Vdovichenko received at the Leadership Summit on behalf of all colleagues at Metro Ukraine for their special team spirit. Minutes of applause, standing ovations from the more than 300 managers for the Ukrainian team, an expression of solidarity with the people in Ukraine, and a very emotional moment during which I'm sure I wasn't the only one with a few tears in my eyes. Really very, very touching. So, dear Metro colleagues out there, we have reached the end of this special edition of More Podcast. I hope you feel well informed. Thanks to you for listening. Stay tuned for the next regular episode of More Podcast, and please check out the previous episodes as well. You can find them just like this one on United and everywhere else you listen to podcasts, for example on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Subscribe to us there and recommend More Podcast to all your colleagues. I'm looking forward to the next episode. Bye bye and take care.